Okay, let's go back to Brisbane now. We are standing by to hear from Steven Miles, the new Premier. In the meantime, here is his deputy, Cameron Dick.
And I want to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge that Queensland is home to the two oldest continuing cultures in the world in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Can I acknowledge my colleagues from the Queensland Parliament, my soon-to-be ministerial colleagues and current ministerial colleagues? Can I acknowledge former members of the Queensland Executive Council? Can I acknowledge commissioners, directors general and other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen? And to my family and friends in particular, thank you all for being here today. New governments don't come along that often, and I think it speaks volumes about our new Premier's approach that barely an hour into his new role, he wants to set out his vision for Queensland. And I think it speaks volumes that he has brought together such a wide cross-section of people who represent important organisations from across our state. I'm proud to be able to support Steven in his new role as the Premier of Queensland, and I'm proud to serve as his deputy. It's an extraordinary honour to be given the opportunity to build on the record of Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk, who has been such a great servant for the people of Queensland. Queensland's economy, of course, is prosperous. Yesterday's labour force data shows there are 88,000 more Queenslanders with a job than there were 12 months ago. And yesterday's population data showed that we had a net migration increase of more than 32,000 people in the year to June. 18,000 of those new Queenslanders moved to regional Queensland as well. We are the place that Australia wants to be. But we understand that comes with challenges, especially around housing. And we understand that Queenslanders not only want a home, they want a home in which they feel safe. Most of all, more than any other issue, every Queensland family is dealing with cost of living pressures, and Steven and I know that. So we have a lot of work to do, and as the Premier will explain, our important work for Queensland starts now. Through that process, of course, we will be talking to you and we will be listening to you. We want to hear the ideas of groups representing all parts of Queensland society and all parts of Queensland's economy, because our great state is set up for a great future. We have a plan to transform our energy system, which will supercharge our industrial base while cutting emissions. We have a $96 billion infrastructure program to support our growing state, and we are preparing for the eyes of the world to turn to us in 2032 for the Olympic and Paralympic Games. And with that exciting future ahead of us, please join me in welcoming the Premier of Queensland, Steven Miles.
That's very kind, and thank you, Mary, for your kind words also. Today I have been sworn in as Premier of Queensland, and today I start delivering as Premier. I will honour the trust my colleagues from right across Queensland have placed in me today, and I promise to work day and night to earn the trust of Queenslanders. I am a Queenslander born and bred, and to serve as your Premier is the greatest honour. I will deliver a renewed and fresh approach to the challenges we face and the opportunities we have. This week has been all focused on the cyclone response in North Queensland. I was on the ground in Townsville and Cairns as Cyclone Jasper crossed our coast. My thoughts are with those still without power or with damaged homes and businesses. Working closely with the QRA has shown me just how well we manage and recover from natural disasters. Queenslanders are tough, we're resilient. I'll never forget those days in the hot sun in Goodna and Yeronga and Deception Bay in 2022 after those floods. We care about each other and we roll up our sleeves, pitch in and help when our neighbours are in trouble. We did it during COVID too. And as a government, we have always put Queenslanders' health and safety and well-being first. I believe that was Annastacia Palaszczuk's great strength, that she cared for Queenslanders and she showed them she cared. Queensland has much to be proud of. A booming economy with people moving here in droves to enjoy our fantastic lifestyle. We have thriving industries, innovative small businesses, and a strong public service. We often overlook how wonderful Queensland's natural environment is. Cassowaries in the far north, koalas and kangaroos here in the southeast. We have the Great Barrier Reef, the largest living organism in the world, home to coral, fish, unique marine life, and the reason so many people come from every corner of the globe to visit Queensland. My wife Kim and I want our children and all Queensland children to be able to enjoy these natural assets just like we do now. As Premier, I will continue to fight to protect Queensland's environment. You all know I've never liked talking about myself very much. I've never thought it was about me. I've always thought it was about Queensland and Queenslanders. But my story is a classic Queensland suburban story, and it probably helps for you to understand why I do this. For me, Labor is about families working hard to create opportunity for their children. That's my story. Grandparents who didn't have much, but worked hard so their children, my parents, could get qualifications and good secure jobs. And my parents, who dreamed that their children could get a great education and even go to university. My dad, Bruce, did his apprenticeship at Golden Circle and worked there for 33 years. My mum, Christine, started in the public service as a clerk and finished her career as a workplace health and safety inspector. My parents worked hard, created a loving home for me and my sister Kate, and encouraged us to do well at school. For me, that turned into a scholarship to go to university, the first person in my family to do that. It's this lesson of working hard to get ahead and provide for your family that's at my core, and will stay at the core of my work as Premier. But we all know that this generational progress that I experienced, it's not inevitable. It comes from good government policies that make education accessible for all people. It's only Labor governments that deliver this. That's why I joined the Labor Party at just 16, because I could see that the opportunities I had were thanks to my parents' hard work, but enabled by Labor governments. Labor governments that deliver quality education, access to free healthcare, and build affordable housing. We're the party of workers' rights. We're the party of TAFE and universities, of Medicare, PBS, and the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Strong Labor governments give people the chance to create something better for their families. This commitment to give back to hardworking Queenslanders to create opportunities for our children will be central to my government. Kim and I know that our 3 children, Sam, Aidan and Bridie, can dream of doing anything. They have so much potential growing up here in Queensland today. I wish my parents and grandparents could have dreamed the same dreams, but I hope they know how their hard work changed the course of our lives and gave us what we have today. I'll be forever grateful to them. I'd also like to thank all the wonderful teachers who helped me on my journey. In fact, my English teacher, Roz, is here with us today. And I'm thinking of all those recent high school graduates who get their ATARs today. I'd also like to thank the union leaders here today too. I'm proud to be a member of 2 unions that represent public servants and some of the lowest paid workers, like cleaners and childcare educators. They represent hundreds of thousands of Queenslanders. I've been criticised for listening to the unions that represent Queensland workers. But the fact is, as a minister, I have always listened to all voices. When I was Environment Minister, I listened to the conservation groups and the scientists, and also the cane growers and the farmers and the fishers. When I was Health Minister, I listened to patients and doctors and nurses, pharmacists, GPs, AMBOs, and the businesses that make life-saving drugs and equipment. During COVID, everybody had an interest in health, and I listened to all of their views. I assure Queenslanders that that will not change. That's why today I'm announcing I will create a new Queensland Leaders Forum to bring together business, industry, community and unions in the one room to work together for Queensland's future. That's what we did during the COVID response. It worked well, and I'm bringing it back. Giving people opportunity will be central to my government because in so many ways, that's the story of Queensland. We're a state of great opportunity and of great strengths. Strengths like our people, who are bold, brave and visionary. We are a smart state of smart people who take risks and make things. We're also Australia's most decentralised state, with strong regional communities that back themselves, their industries and their futures. I know our regional communities are the backbone of Queensland's economy. Our strength as a resources, agriculture and energy powerhouse, the source of prosperity in a global market. We must safeguard our future. I'm from the suburbs, but I will be a Premier that unites the city and the bush. A Premier that works for Queenslanders, whether you live in our regions, our suburbs or the inner city. Because there is so much more that unites us than divides us. Right now, I want us to unite on the opportunity of decarbonisation. Our trading partners, particularly in Europe, North America and much of Asia, are demanding the places they trade with act responsibly. The things we make in our regions and sell to the world must be made with an eye to how the world wants them. That's why responsible emissions targets are essential to jobs in our existing industries like mining, agriculture and manufacturing. And it's the key to creating more jobs in the new industries of the future, like hydrogen, critical minerals and sustainable aircraft fuel. Today I can announce we will lift Queensland's ambition on climate action to strengthen our economy and create jobs. We will reduce Queensland's emissions by 75% by 2035.